The most underrated player in the NBA is no longer Drew Holiday, it's Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is the most underrated player in the NBA. Jalen Brunson is a game changer. Jalen Brunson is transcendent. Jalen Brunson has a very, very, very high IQ, very methodical, kind of like a Tank Davis when it comes to just comparing boxing to basketball. Very methodical. He knows how to pace himself, very poised, great timing, great cadence, just when it comes to, his attacks and whatnot, execution, what he's gonna do. Like he knows how to make great decisions on a basketball court. And he's a game changer. And there's a reason why Chuck said that he's the greatest or one of the greatest free agent signings in the history of the NBA. It's because of what he's able to do when it comes to making an impact on his team. It was only 2 years ago that the Knicks made it to the playoffs and they lost to the Hawks in the first round in 5 games. So you see what happens in the next year and it's funny because, not to digress, right? The Hawks beat the Knicks. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021. Luka Doncic is someone who's twin with Trae Young. So in 2021, you have Luka Doncic going to the Eastern Conference Finals. In the following year, 2022, who goes to the Eastern Conference or Western Conference Finals? Luka Doncic. So you got that whole twinning aspect there. And Jalen Brunson was with Luka Doncic, right? So he goes to the Knicks and he pretty much catapults them to this type of status where, they're able to make a run. And they'll most likely go to the Eastern Conference Finals to face the Boston Celtics. Now, originally, I had the Cavs going against the 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals. But based off of what I've seen over the course of this playoffs and just, me kind of being pessimistic about the 76ers and the James Harden angle where I feel like James Harden is going to have some sort of MK Ultra breakdown or malfunction where he's going to be the reason why they're not going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and they'll choke against the Boston Celtics. But then again, you never know. They might be able to get over that hump finally and make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I had them, picked to make it, but I'm just seeing I feel like I just don't think it's gonna happen for some reason. Like I have doubts now. The understanding of Ime Udoka signing with the Houston Rockets to be their next head coach, as well as my belief that Houston is going to pick Victor Wembanyama. I think that the NBA is going to give that to Houston. And I feel like that's what's also going to encourage James Harden to sign with the Houston Rockets, to re-sign. We already know about the rumors, if you guys haven't heard, but there's rumors around, and there's been rumors for the whole season that James Harden is pretty much going back to Houston. He's pretty much going to go back to the Houston Rockets. And I feel like something in the playoffs is what's going to, pretty much, indicate that, for lack of a better term. Like, that's going to propel James Harden to sign with the Houston Rockets based off of his performance in the playoff or lack thereof. And that's just my prognostication. You know what I mean? I think that that's going to encourage him more to sign with Houston, even though it was already rumors beforehand, before the playoffs even begun. So, yeah, man, I have the Knicks and the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks beating the Miami Heat in the second round. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, I feel like that series is going to go 7. And you'll have Boston beating New York. They'll be going against the LA Lakers in the NBA Finals, Boston versus LA for battle number 18. Now, I'm a New Yorker. I'm from New York. So in the perfect world, I would want New York to win. But obviously, I'm objective and I understand basketball. I understand the game. Boston is just a superior team. But you never know what may take place because you have all these different injuries. The NBA is just something, especially around playoff time. It just seems like you have a lot of injuries around playoff time. This is why certain people come to conclusions about hexes and magic being at play when it comes to the NBA playoffs and these people getting injured. It's obvious. Like, and people may hear me and say, "Oh, you talking about magic?" Like, you have to understand certain things when it comes to these Jewish mysticists, these Kabbalists, these Zionists. They practice magic and witchcraft. And when it comes to MK Ultra, as well as other elements that coincide with esotericism, it pretty much is at play in the NBA on a professional scale when it comes to the basketball or football, boxing, so on and so forth. And it's not all the time, but it's at key moments in which, you have the powers that be favoring a certain team and certain things take place based off of that favoritism. Like, you already know what took place with the Minnesota Timberwolves, where Jaden McDaniels breaks his hand. You have the whole punching of Rudy Gobert punching his teammate and whatnot. All that stuff was pretty much in favor of the LA Lakers. That just worked in the favor of the LA Lakers. And all that stuff is based in just, from my belief and what I understand about the dark side, the dark element of this world. You have magic, you have hexes, so on and so forth. That stuff is really real, believe it or not. And then you have the element where they go against the Memphis Grizzlies and Ja gets injured, a hand injury. Jalen Brown got his hand hurt. All these different hand injuries. De'Aaron Fox, he hurts his finger. So what's going on with the hand in this year's playoff? A lot of people hurting their goddamn hand. You know what I mean? So those things, is what can aid into a certain team being able to, overcome. And I feel like this year they would want the Lakers to win because, they want to continue to push this LeBron narrative. But then again, I think Boston to pretty much offset what will be at play when it comes to shenanigans and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see LA win. I'm tired of the LeBron James narrative. But you never know what may take place when it comes to the NBA. You know what I mean? So we just got to sit back and see. But I have Boston going against LA in the NBA Finals, just as I said in my other video. But this is more about the Knicks and what they've been doing. So let's just get into it.
It's the Victory Monday, full of orange and blue skies after the Knicks topped the Cavs at the Garden yesterday, 102-93 New York, now 3-1 in that series, large part due to Jalen Brunson and R.J. Barrett. The defense has come through, too, with SA's team forcing Donovan Mitchell into one of the worst games of his playoff career, scoring just 11 points on 5 for 18 shooting. This man needs no introduction. Fat Joe is in the building, New York Cell.
What's up, baby? Hardenstein. Hardenstein. We gonna roll.
Yeah, Hartenstein is a real solid player. Good rebounder, good shot blocker, real solid big man. And, it's dope to see Fat Joe and all these New York Knicks fans happy about their team because New York, they've been in a drought, man. So it's cool for all the Knicks fans to be happy and shit. That's what's up. I'm a New Yorker, so like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing them make a little magic carpet ride to the NBA Finals.
We gonna roll with that. We gonna roll with that. You seen that defense yesterday? That's right. Yo, Steven, I'm on the plane yesterday. I don't know. I did some bootleg. I had the computer. It kept zapping off. I'm zapping it on and zapping it off and zapping it on and zapping it off. And I'm just like, just hold the lead. Hold the lead. How we feeling about our Knicks? I'm feeling very good. Orange and blue skies. I'm feeling very, very good right now. Listen.
Tell me when I'm allowed to jump in.
I thought they were going to win. I thought they were going to win this series in 7. I thought so, too. They're going to win it in 6. They're going to win it. They're closing it out Friday night at the Garden. Oh, man.
Are you going to go?
No, I mean, I got business to handle. I won't be there. When you coming back, man? It's time now, Stephen A. Everybody know you're a number one Knicks fan. It's time.
Yeah, Stephen A. love the Knicks. That man is a diehard fan. And shout out to my cousin Jan. You guys should subscribe to his channel. He's a diehard Knicks fan. His whole channel is dedicated to the Knicks. His name is Jan Mitchell. Jan and Knicks fan Mitchell. You should subscribe to his channel. He's a diehard Knicks fan. And I'm happy for him and his team.
Yeah, I'll admit that. Listen, my countdown duties, because they had me in studio doing NBA countdown, okay? That's the only reason I wasn't at Friday night's game. I'd have showed up to Friday night's game. Mm-hmm. So next round, second round, let me take you to the game. That's it. Let me take you to the game. Second round, and let me tell you something. The whole NBA is vulnerable right now.
Yeah.
There is nobody who's a sure favorite.
Yeah.
All right. Turk. Yeah. Okay. We slaying Miami. We killing Miami if they come. I believe we would be.
Yeah, Miami is going to be a tough out, though, man. Miami is going to be a tough out. Just like I said in my video on Jimmy Butler, man, that performance that he put on, whether people believe me or not, he was under programming. It is not to take away from what he does on the court, his exploits and whatnot. He's a great, great player. Playoff Jimmy is a real thing, but I only say that based off of what he wore in the aftermath of that game. People may say, oh, okay, he just wore an orange hat with a black tank top. No, it's more than meets the eye when it comes to these things and these elements and how, they pretty much give you an indicator of what really was at play. But yeah, man, even so, the Miami is still going to be a tough out. That's a tough ass team, man. A really, really tough team.
No, we are. But we don't want to jinx ourselves. We want to stay focused. Okay, Donovan Mitchell, because Cleveland gonna answer the call in Game 5. They're gonna answer the call in Game 5. What do you see from the Knicks right now?
Oh my God, I see him clicking on all four. And what was so crazy was that towards the end of the year, the fact that Randall got hurt, it let Obi get some playing time.
Yeah, Obi, Quickly, Grimes, even the addition of Josh Hart, like that really changed the whole trajectory when it comes to the Knicks in regards to what they would do in these playoffs and in the future as well. Like they really got a great team full of young pieces that's, you know, they ready. You know, they seem ready. And Jalen Brunson, like I said, he's a game changer. He's transcended. There's a reason Charles Barkley said what he said because he understands what he's seeing. And I understand what I'm seeing. Very, very smart basketball player. So you have the right pieces around the right players, especially when it comes to the head of the snake, that being Jalen Brunson. Not even saying that he's the best player per se, but he's the head of the snake because he's the point guard, right? So when you have great pieces around a great point guard like Jalen Brunson, or a point guard with the abilities that he have, you know, it makes them more formidable. This is why they were able to beat them great teams in the NBA season. Like they beat Boston. I believe they beat Boston twice. They beat the Cavs, I think 3 times out of 4. Like they beat a lot of great teams. So, you know, it's not that much of a surprise that New York is able to do this. And a lot of people pick New York to beat the Cavs. But I think the 3-1 lead is what got people surprised, you know. And a lot of people are picking up to go to the Eastern Conference Finals just based off of what they see, and that's understandable.
It let all the guys off the bench quickly, and they built this confidence. Mm-hmm. But it all started when we brought Hart.
That's right.
See, I didn't know that the Knicks was such a young team. Right. And we kept losing games at the last 2 minutes, and they were panicking. Right. But when Hart comes in with that Villanova with his partner Brunson, who Brunson doesn't get the credit he deserves.
He's the best player in the series.
He didn't make the All-Star game.
He's the best player in the series.
This is Brunson is the MVP. I'm telling you, the Knicks haven't won in 20 years. All of a sudden, we win it. It's because of his pause, his winning mentality. Randall, he's a scorer. He's in a slump right now. Doesn't mean nothing. He might play the next game and score 40 points.
Yeah.
You know, so Randall is a short thing.
No,
just love No, he's gonna come through, Steve.
He better.
He's gonna come.
Yeah, Randall's gonna come through. He's a good player. He's gonna come through. He's an all-star for a reason. He's just going through a little slump. I just think that, you know, he shouldn't have been pouty and, you know, not doing an interview with the media in that game 4 because he was benched. He shouldn't have been pouty and all that. You should have just, you know, you never know. I ain't gonna just jump to the gun with it and just say he shouldn't have been pouty because I don't know what took place behind the scenes, but just as far as optics, you know, you should always just put on for your team, especially, you know, in the midst of a win. Like, y'all won, so, you know, just take your feelings out the way and just, you know, embrace what it is. You guys won. You should be happy that you guys won. But then again, I don't want to be too patronizing or presumptuous because I don't know like the intricacies of what took place. But him being benched, obviously, on his face was because of his play. Like his output wasn't up there. I think he was like 10 for 38, as Stephen A said. Or he's been 10 for 38 throughout these playoffs and whatnot.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell my concerns. First of all, I'm very proud. I love what I'm seeing from Jalen Brunson. I'm very proud. At one point, I was thinking about RJ Barrett needed to be benched because I was worried about him after the first 2 games, 21 points combined in the first 2 games. And he showed up over the last 2 games big time. No doubt about that. I'm very proud of what I'm seeing from RJ Barrett. Here's where I'm going. Do you know that Julius Randle is shooting 10 for 38 when guarded by Mobley? Length is a problem for him. You know why it's a problem for him? Because this 6'8" powerful man won't go in the paint and punish them tall. We just saw the Javante Davis-Ryan Garcia fight, okay? What happened with that? Ryan Garcia, you tall, you thick, you didn't use your jab. Bow!
Yeah, Ryan Garcia was very irresponsible with his punches. His approach was very irresponsible. He was too eager. You know what I mean? He got caught with one. He got caught with 2, actually. 1 knockdown and 1 shot to the liver. because he exposed himself by being too irresponsible and just being too extra and impatient. You know, he had to be methodical like a Tank Davis, but this is why I compared Tank Davis to Jalen Brunson. And it's funny because he kind of resembled Jalen Brunson a little bit. Because, Tank is methodical. Tank has a high IQ. He's very smart when it comes to his approach, just like a Floyd Mayweather. You know, Floyd Mayweather really instilled a lot in Tank Davis in terms of just being able to take certain things from Floyd when it comes to his timing on his punches. That's why he has the lowest output when it comes to his punches, but he's first in accuracy. So he lands the most. He lands the most punches, but he has the lowest output. So he's efficient, which speaks to his timing, his method, so on and so forth.
Look, let me deliver. Joe. I'm going like this, yo. How do you know not to avoid Javante Davis? You back up and use the jab. Oh, wait, I'm just saying, you just got to.
Yeah, use your jab as leverage, man. You tall, you lanky, you have the reach. You know, your jab is the most important punch in boxing. Use the jab as leverage. But, Ryan, he wasn't really utilizing the jab like that. I think in the 6th round, he was giving it to Tank, really. He had some flush shots on Tank, but he's just very, very irresponsible when it comes to his approach.
Attack those young, thin dudes. They thin in the post.
He's gonna. I've all faith in Julius Randle, but thank God we don't have to depend on.
You see how Stephen A. Stephen A. is real simple-minded when it comes to certain assessments. Attack those young, thin dudes. Like, they got masks on them. Like, just because they appear to look thin don't mean that they thin. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of, like, tall, skinny players that, they may appear to look weak, but they're not weak. You know what I mean? So Stephen A. just always focused on, bodies, height, and all types of shit, like his size and whatnot. It's just all about your approach. Like, your decision making. Where you want to go in terms of how you want to score. You feel what I'm saying? As far as, like, spots and placements, certain areas on the court where you're more comfortable, as well as, when you banging and you bodying in the paint. You just got to know how to, pretty much use that to your advantage when it comes to the referee and the fouls and whatnot. Or just, when you have an open man, when it comes to the double team, if you got those twin towers in the paint, you don't want to just always look for that foul and flail your body and whatnot. So it's just more about the method, your approach.
One player.
That's right.
Almost like a mellow time or Stoudemire time.
Right.
Now we got a whole team.
Okay.
Whole bench.
All right.
Okay,
so they're closing it out. They're closing it out Friday.
They're closing out Friday.
Okay.
God.
Okay, got it.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to be able to go. You'll be there. How far can this team go this season?
All the way to, I got us at the third, at the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
Yeah, the 3rd round Eastern Conference Finals. I have the Knicks going against the Celtics. Celtics beating the Knicks in 7 games to face the LA Lakers. It's going to be a tough one. I would say the Celtics will win that series, but you never know what may take place. Because we already know the LeBron James narrative. We already know how strong that is in the year 2023.
And you never know. You never know. I know if Miami come our way because Giannis is hurt, we got them boys. And Miami, I'll be there Friday. Club 11. I love.
That's not going to be easy, man. Fat Joe talking like that shit going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be easy. I think New York will beat them probably in 6 or 7, but that shit is not going to be easy, man. Because Miami, they got fire in them now. Like, they motivated now. They're like, oh, shit, we got them up 3-1. And we could get to go against either Cleveland or New York in the 2nd round. They'll be confident that they can beat either one of those teams, Most likely against New York, but you never know what may take place. You might have 2 3-1 comebacks. You just never know. Anything can happen in the NBA. Obviously, history tells us that it's rare, but you just never know, man. You never know. But yeah, man, that's all I wanted to cover when it comes to Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks. It's just good to see the Knicks be able to, be relevant again to a degree. They're relevant because they got this 3-1 lead, but you never know what may happen. So I don't want to jump the gun too much, but most likely they'll get out of this round, make it to the 2nd round, and go on a run. We'll see what happens.